Hello everyone, this is the fourth game of logics behind your moves, and in the previous video I have shared a game of French opening, and this is again the same French opening is there, but as I said there will be a transformation from opening to the middle game, so it's completely like different middle game here. So here also white played pawn e4, the king's pawn opening, and we have e6. This is the French opening, so-called French, and it's one of the nowadays it has considered as one of the most strongest reply against king's pawn opening. And so yeah, it's a semi-open game. And as I said, in semi-open games, white tries to grab the center by playing d4, and then we have d5, strikes in the center. Now here you have options like taking on the pawn, going for the exchange variation of French, or simply pushing the pawn, going for the advanced variation of French, or maybe playing knight c3, the classical defense, or the Tarrasch variation. So here it was played by none other than the Tarrasch, and knight d2 was there on the board. So yeah, nowadays in modern days, if you see this here against Tarrasch, black kind of play this move, knight pawn c5, like it's a yeah, it's kind of a variation that you should know. And other variations like black can take on the pawn, going for the burn variation of French, and knight f6 is also popular here. So knight f6 was played here, and so yeah, now since you have put your knight on this thing, this is square. You don't have bishop g5 with a pin. So yeah, so here white immediately pushes the pawn to e5 to attack the knight, and now this knight has to go back to d7. Going back to g8 doesn't make sense because you have developed a piece and white to go back. Now bishop d3, just a normal development of the bishop, and also it can give you the privilege of going for the Greek sacrifice in some lines. So here we have c5. Now c5 comes. You don't wanna give this pawn because it's a fight for the the d4 square. Like black will simply try to acquire the control of d4. How he can go with, like, c, he play knight c6, queen b6, and then that's how it goes. So in classical defense, when you play knight c3, you don't have the option of playing pawn c3. But here in Tarrasch, you have, as you can see, pawn c3. Now, if pawn takes, then obviously we have the other pawn to take it back. So we will have a pawn on d4 always. So knight c6, just going with a normal development, and it's a typical French move. Later on, queen b6 will also be joining this attack. So we have knight e2. Now in Tarrasch, this is a very interesting line where this knight jumps like this and goes here, and this knight comes here. So both these two knights will be looking after the d4 square. So we have queen b6, just again pressurizing the d4. Now knight f3, because this knight was supposed to be going on that square. Yeah, in some lines, like I have played a lot of games where what I did, like I keep the bishop here and I played g3 and planning bishop h3, because once the bishop is on h3, black can never plan a move like f6, because then this pawn will be hanging, having a knight on this square. So it's kind of a line. It's a kind of a variation. So we have bishop e7 preparing to do the castling. We have castles and castles. So both sides done the castling. Development is on the board. Everything is some completely logical. Like nothing sort of illogical is there. So every move here it makes sense. Now the in French, the most annoying bishop is the c8. Like you really need to get figure out a way to develop this bishop. So let's see what happened in the game. Here we have knight f4. Just coming here. Now you must be thinking, why knight f4? What is this move doing? Are we giving up the control? But the thing is, if you take, and take, the thing is, you are not going to win the pawn here. The reason, let's say, if you try and take on this, you can take on this, and if you take on this, the knight will take back, and now you cannot take this thing with the queen because you have this bishop cross h7 discovery, so you lose the queen. So black literally cannot take this pawn on d4 after knight f4. It's like we are removing one of the defender, but the thing is, the pawn cannot be taken. So here knight d8 was played. Now, what is that knight d8 doing here at all? The thing is, black. The thing is, by playing knight f4, white ensures that black cannot play f6 because playing f6 loses the e6 pawn. And in this reply, black played knight d8. Now he can play f6 because now, if you see, this pawn is well protected. So now there is no threat of knight cross e6 from white side. So that is why knight d8 was played. And also maybe in some lines after f6, this knight can come to f7 also. So yeah, let's see what happened in the game. Here we have queen c2. Yeah, very logical. It makes sense. You wanna keep, because no knight is there on f6, so it makes sense to go for the h7 square. So queen c2 comes with an attack on the pawn, and here he played pawn f5. Now look at that. It blocks the bishop's diagonal, but if you know this very special move in chess, this is called en passant. White simply goes for it. White simply takes an en passant here, and now we have knight cross f6. This knight is the good friend of f6 square, so it takes back. Okay, taking with the rook. You don't really want to take with the rook. Why? Because by taking with the knight, what you're doing, you are first of all you are getting this h7 square saved, and also maybe in some lines this bishop can also come into the game like this. So that's why. Now knight g5, creating some more pressure on that h7 square. So once you target the weakness, whenever you play the game, once you target the weakness, you just try to create a lot of attacks on that particular weakness. So here white is seemingly going for the h7 square and provoking black to play some moves like g6, and that's what black did. Black played g6 thinking, okay, let's block it. But now the move that black played, because white played, because you have all the pieces who can simply go on the king side. So whenever you have pieces to attack on the king side, it makes sense to sacrifice one of your piece to expose the black king. Now here's the question, like taking with the bishop and taking with the knight. You wanna sacrifice the knight or bishop to expose the king. See, taking with the bishop is actually making more sense because once you take with the bishop and pawn takes, your queen can join the attack. But taking with the knight and pawn takes, your queen will be very late to come into this attack on the king side. So here, white simply played bishop cross g6, and now h cross g6, and now queen cross g6 comes with a check. Now where this king will go? The king is completely exposed and it's burst up. He goes there, and now queen h6 check, king goes there, and now here the move that white played, it's completely losing, and not that losing for white, but it's losing for black. The move that white played here, and after that move, black simply resigns because he played knight to g6. Now threatening this checkmate, what do you do? How will you save this checkmate? There is no way to do that. If you try and block with the knight, then it's still this checkmate because of this knight. So look at these two knights, really strong knight. So yeah, this is one of the game that gives some attacking chances. Basically, if we like try and find some good moves for black, how to play this position here after bishop e7, castles, knight f4, uh, maybe like okay, after knight d8 and queen c2. Yeah, here you just really need to take a decision. How do you do? Like, can't you simply play pawn h6? Now the knight will never come onto g5. This is a kind of a move that you can go with the black. And any other move, like okay, here f5 was played because you should know that en passant is coming. So that is why h6 kind of will be very helpful. Or after this takes, you could have taken with the bishop also. You could have given up the pawn and king h8, and now no more attacks are coming, and this knight g5 never comes because we always have a bishop. So this is one of the variations that black could have gone for it. But playing f5, e cross, and knight cross f6, okay, trying to protect, but now it's matter of time only. Knight g5 comes. That's why. So yeah, that is the game. I hope you like it, and feel free to subscribe to the channel so that you will see some upcoming games also. And this is next game. I'm planning to show you as black also, like the black won the game. So yeah, that's